alegría, come un paso de vida, alegría, vete il tuo sorriso per la luce serena, come la rabbia di amare, alegría, come un stato di gioia. Alegría.
Alrighty. Wow. Good evening, Asia Pacific. So first of all, before I get started, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Rao Kankatala. I'm a Platinum Regional Vice President with ACN, and I know that we've got so many people on the call today. It's my absolute honor and privilege to host the call today, and it's going to be phenomenal. So what I really want everyone to do is I want everyone to do a couple of things. Make sure that take as much notes as you can, because this gentleman I have so much respect for, and he is going to basically share some powerful gems and nuggets with each and every one of us. So before I actually get him to come on the call, I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate and welcome all the new people who have actually joined our business. So I want to say massive congratulations to welcome to our ACN family, guys. And also the other thing, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you if you have actually achieved the first earned position, which is CQ, customer qualified, or if you have got reached the position of executive team leader. Massive congratulations to you as well. And also, we are a customer acquisition company. If you got 10 customer points this week, 20 customer points, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75, 100, 200, 300, 400. In fact, we have somebody who had 450 personal customer points actually also on the call today. So I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all the people who have hit some milestones this week. So on behalf of the leadership, so we really want to say massive thank you and congratulations, and continue your ACN journey. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, are you on the call, sir?
Yes, buddy. Good evening.
Great. Okay, fantastic. He's on the call. So before I actually get this gentleman to on the call, so I just want to share, I know some of you know, I know most of you know him. He's a legend. He's actually an absolute a champion. So first of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank him. When I asked him for this call, so he accepted without even saying no. I know this gentleman is so busy. Now I have to share something about this gentleman. So this gentleman is recognized as one of the best trainers, one of the most incredible trainers and legends in our industry. And not only that, everything I learned from this business, I actually grew in ACN because of this incredible leadership. But more importantly, he has actually touched so many people. He inspired so many people. But most importantly, he got a heart of gold. He's not only have humble beginnings in ACN, but he has so much success, not just in his market, but globally as well. So he is being recognized as Circle of Champions and Regional Vice President from United Kingdom. And he's one of the pioneers, and he has been recognized and well known in the entire industry of network marketing, not just alone in ACN, because he has heart of gold. He poured so much into people. He helped ACN Asia Pacific pioneered because of his leadership. I still remember in 2016 till now, in the last 4 years, what he has done in this marketplace. So he completely changed the trajectory, the direction of every single person's businesses in Asia Pacific. So it's my absolute honor and privilege to welcome Regional Vice President, Circular Champions, all the way from United Kingdom, Mr. Liju Thomas.
Thank you so much, Ralph, for those amazing words. And I know you give me way more credit than I deserve, but it's an absolute pleasure building this ACN business. Monday morning for me, it's 10 o'clock in the United Kingdom. I get to work from home. But the best part of what I do is I get to work with some phenomenal individuals like yourself. And they always say in business, longevity is credibility. And from day one, you're a fellow brother who I was able to connect with. And I don't know how we connected, but we did connect. I was in UK and you're in Australia. But since then, it's been more than a business.
Okay, have you got any?
Until you set these things up. Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, we just had a 10-second pause, Liju. Now we're good.
Okay, all right. So I was just saying, you really don't need to do this, Rao. And the fact that you do this and you empower other people, so you make platforms like this available so that other people just need to follow your footsteps. It just shows the selfless leader that you are, and the fact that you're coachable to the ACN system. And being in the industry way more than I have been, you've taken a lot of setbacks, you've taken a lot of punches, but you still lead from the front and lead by example. And that shows you're a true warrior. So it's a pleasure for myself to be associated with you and all the leaders on the call. I hope you understand the value of this gentleman that you have who's leading you, because all you have to do to be successful in ACN is to follow his footsteps and to be coachable to his system. That's all that you got to do. And just listen to his wisdom that he pours out into you. And if you do that, you can achieve the success. So thank you so much, Rao, for having me on this call. And it will be an absolute pleasure to contribute whatever I can do, if I can make any kind of value to those who are listening today.
Thank you so much, Liju. Thank you for those kind words. You know what? I have so many people messaging me saying we maxed out on the call, so we can't take any more. It's a good problem to have. So first in, I guess. So Liju, I guess what we really want to do today is some of you know your background, and is it okay if I go through a series of questions?
Sure.
And then so you can basically share your ACN journey with each and everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. So before we get started, I guess I just really want to, you to share your background and how you've been introduced to ACN.
So, see, I was born and brought up in the Middle East in Bahrain. I had amazing parents. I've been blessed with amazing parents, and I've got a younger brother. And in Bahrain, we live a really good life. It's a cushy life because my parents had decent jobs. So they were never financially free. They were always struggling for money, but we had a decent lifestyle. So I passed my 10th grade, and then let's say I was a spoiled kid. My mom is a very unique individual. So she decides that if I keep my son in luxury like this, he will never learn anything in his life. Because my mom and my dad came from very humble beginnings and backgrounds. So my mom decides, let's send him to the toughest part of India, all right, from Bahrain. Let's take him out of luxury and let's put him in the toughest part of India and let's see if he survives. So what she does is after my 10th grade, she takes me out of Bahrain and she puts me in the toughest part of South India in Kerala. So from having burgers and frankfurters and sausages for meals, I started having rice soup. All right. So from having everything done for me, I now have to wash my clothes, wash my undergarments, wash everything, clean my room. From a double bed padded mattress, I'm now living on a single bed wooden pallet. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was in India. So I absolutely hated it. And because my mom did it, other 4 of my friends' mom said the same thing. So 5 of us went to India. But after 1 month, all the other 4 children went back because they couldn't hack it. I was never a quitter. I said, let's go through this. So I stayed there for 2 years. In 1 month, I lost 13 kilos. So you can imagine that. But those 2 years of my hardship and pain made me who I am today. I hated what my mother did then, but today I love her. Does that make sense for what she did? So there's something that they say in my language about a gooseberry, Nellika. What they say is Adyam kaikum pinna madarikum, which means it's always bitter in the beginning, but the sweet comes on later on. So many of the things that our parents teach us is very bitter in the beginning, but later on you realize the sweetness. So those 2 years made me who I am. I then come to the United Kingdom 20 years ago. I did my degree in engineering here because you see, as an Indian, you're either a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or loser. So you have no other choice. I did a degree in engineering, graduated with a first class honors and I was pretty decent in what I do in my university. And then from there, I got a job as one of the senior most engineers in the whole of Siemens, one of the biggest engineering companies. And I ranked my way all the way to the top, and I hit a plateau. There was a glass ceiling. I couldn't go any further. So from then, we want to progress. That's what we've been taught. Go and go and go. So from there, that was what I did as a blue collar job. So in life, everybody has 6 different career options. So that was my first career option, which is a blue collar. The second career option is a white collar. So I went into that. So I was headhunted into senior level management. Now, blue collar worker is somebody like someone who does exchange their service for trade. So you have an engineer, you have a lawyer, you have a plumber, you have an electrician. So you give your hours, you get paid for the hours you do. The moment you stop working, you stop getting paid. Then I went into white collar management. So I was a senior level management. I was in the corporate head, did that for many years. Hated that either because I was doing 60 hours a week, pressure from up, pressure from below. Didn't like that. I had a sales job before I started while I was doing my university degree, did a sales job. That's a third type of career. You go and sell a product or service, get paid for what you do. And the more work you do, the more money you make, you get commissions. The moment you stop, you stop. Did all those 3 careers. Absolutely hated it. I'm thinking, man, there must be something else. So I thought business people make the most amount of money. Started my own traditional business, invest a lot of money, put it into business. And absolutely hated that because nobody looks after your business the way you look after business. So the corporation tax, the VAT, the employee problems, the accounts payable, the accounts receivable, and you're one lawsuit away from being broke. So that was the 4th career, traditional business. Then I went to the 5th one, investing. So I took a lot of money, whatever I could find, put it into stocks and whatever it may be. I made some money, but I lost more money. So this is what it is. And you need some heavy duty investing in order to make real money. So 5 different careers, tried everything, didn't like any of them. This is when 7.5 years ago, read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because that is what book changed my life. I've tried to identify how do you get rich in life, rich in health, wealth, and wisdom. That book told me that the wealthiest people in the world don't work for money. They have business systems where money works for them. So, and they earn this concept of residual income. Never heard of that income in my life before. So I was looking around. I came across a few companies, but I didn't like the selling of products. ACN came to my life 7.5 years ago from a random stranger. I saw the business in ACN, started straight away because it was making residual income. So the problem that I had was ACN worked, but I didn't work because I had a big ego. Because I'm a business development head in my company. I was already on 100 grand a year. I was a big shot in my community. So, you've got all this false ego. And ego is your biggest problem in life because ego means edging God out. So because of my ego, I wasn't coachable to my ACN mentors. I'm thinking to myself, what can they teach me? So I didn't follow the system of ACN. And I became a total failure in ACN for 1 year. Made no money whatsoever and did nothing for 1 whole year. And after 1 year, I got to a place in my life where what I was doing, my job wasn't working. My boss wasn't giving the promotion that I wanted. I really hated what I was doing. But I remember for 1 year, the person who invited me to the ACN meeting kept following up with me. He showed me individuals who are getting success in this business. He showed me people who are making 5 figures a month just doing the ACN system, and they had no background in network marketing. So I said, you know what? It got to a point in my life, it was so horrible. I said, let's leave ACN and go again. He told me, listen, here's what you got to do. Just come to an event. There's an international event that's coming in. What have you got to lose? Why don't you just come? So what I did is I went to a convention, an international convention. And it was at that convention, everything changed. I saw people walk up on that stage, ordinary backgrounds, and they've been recognized on a level that I've never seen before. And that one event in 2013 changed everything. And the decision was made then. And I said, yes, I'm going to do this. I came back, got to work. 1 year later, within 3 months, I became a regional director. And within a year, I became a regional vice president. And then since then, life just took off and never looked back since.
Wow. What a journey. What a journey. Obviously, it's just the international event that is pivotal in changing the entire vision, the direction of your ACN business. So I guess when the last 7.5 years, by the way, you have beautiful family as well, growing family, I might add. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The princess on the way. Beautiful princess on the way. So I just want to ask you, because you and Shruti, you guys are so busy in business and also in family. So how you balanced ACN, family life, spiritual life, and also, your professional careers as well in the last 7 years?
You see, one of the best things that ACN has given me in my life is the fact that freedom is number one. But second, I found my wife through ACN. So it was very,
Wow,
very, I was
congratulations.
very fortunate. So it was about 6, 5.5. I was like an ETL, just starting my ACN business, and Shruti came into the meeting. And there's a rule in life: you should never mix business with pleasure. And that was my rule. All right, but I broke my own rule. All right, so she came into the business. She saw the ACN opportunity. We started building a team together, and I really found out that, you know what, ACN was brought to me by God, and for some reason I could connect with Shruti, and Shruti came into the life. And then I went straight up to her and I said, listen, I'm building my business. I'm an ETL right now, not making much money, just getting started, but I'm going to be the number one senior vice president in the world one day. I like you, and this is what I have. This is what I've got. Um, I like you, and shall we do something together? She said, yes, thank God for that. Fast forward, and one of the biggest advantages that you can have is if you can get your spouse along you within this business, because I understood way early in life. See, if your spouse and you don't have the same missions or the same visions or the same goals, I've found out that most people won't have a very fruitful relationship. And I've seen it all my life, because normally a husband does something, a wife does something else. They come back home. Both people don't find anything common. Apart, the only thing that's common is their own kids.
Yeah.
And all their input is going into the kids. Eventually the kids will grow up and they will leave the house, and I've not seen a fruitful relationship. But then I looked at the ACN mentors and my ACN leaders, and I'm saying, wow, you look at Aaron Burt and Chanel Burt, you look at Greg Provenzano and his family, you look at James Adlam and Daniel Adlam, you look at yourself, Rao, and and you see, when you see the biggest leaders, you see husband and wife working together. So which means they have the same goals, the same vision, and same alignment, same priorities. So for me, I was fortunate enough to find somebody within ACN. Now, not everybody is going to do that. So the objective is to get your spouse into the ACN convention. And let me tell you something. Even though Shruti and I liked each other, she spent 100,000 on a law degree. 100,000 pounds. So she wanted to be a lawyer. She got a first-class law degree. So that was her mission. ACN was not a part of her. It took me nearly 3 years to convince her to come into ACN. And I'll tell you, because in the beginning she said, okay, even though she came into ACN, she liked the concept, she liked myself, and then she decided, you know what, ACN is not for her, because she wanted to focus on a law degree. So I said, absolutely, you go and do what you got to do. And then she used to go and work as a lawyer. She used to wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock, go to work. Guess what I'm doing? I'm chilling out in the bed. She comes like home at like 6 o'clock. Guess what I'm doing? I'm chilling out. And then I go to work when she comes out. I go and do a few bits and bobs. And then at the end of the month, I make what she made in 1 year in 1 month. So she couldn't believe that. She said, this business is some kind of dodgy business, because I'm putting all the work in, and what I'm making in a year, you're making in 1 month. So she didn't believe it. Then she saw me becoming a regional vice president. She saw me retiring my dad. She saw me retiring my mom. She saw that we had a baby. We're having a baby. She said, I said, you never have to go to work anymore. And she still didn't do the business because she was focused on lawyer, the mindset. I finally had to trick her 3 years later. I said, listen, honey, I love you. And here's what I want to do for you. I want to take you to what we call one of the greatest bridges in the world, called the Golden Gate Bridge in California. And California is an amazing place. The weather is brilliant. I'm going to take you on the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco. I'm going to take you down Los Angeles. I'm going to take you down Hollywood. I'm going to take you down the stars. We're going to walk down the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So I took her there. And while I was there, I said, hey, by the way, my company is having a convention just an hour from here. It's called San Jose. Another beautiful place. We're going to drive down that highway. So so can we just go and pop into that convention? I tricked her and I put her inside an international convention. Friday, she comes in 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. She sees all of these people. She's like, that's quite impressive. Saturday, she sees the training. On Sunday, she turns to me and she says, you know what? I finally get ACN. And here's what I want to do. I want to build ACN myself. And she came out of that convention, and I said, listen, I will not do the business for you, because you got to earn whatever you do in ACN. So I was able to give her guidance. She on her own built a team, went and networked with people. She started doing what she's supposed to do, and she became a regional director. She's a regional director today. But how do you balance? And that's what it is. See, what you got to look at, what you got to understand in life is this. It's all about priorities. And it's the priorities are, if you have a balanced life, a happy life, you got to have a balanced life of 6 F's. So the first F, whenever I make a decision of family, it's all about priority. We go down the priority list. These are the 6 F's. First F is your faith. So you got to have, number one priority is the faith that you have, the God that you believe in. Because if you don't have God, you won't have morals. So that's my number one priority. We make time for God. The second F is fitness. See, health is wealth. If you are unhealthy, there is nothing you can do to make your life, because you'll be a burden for everybody else. So you got to look after your health, because you got one body, which is one temple, you have one opportunity. So you got to look after your health. The third F is your family. And your family will be your husband, your wife, your father, mother, your children. You got to give time for your family. So the fourth F, after all of that, is what we actually call, your financial career. So you will, most people, when you come into your life, you'll have a job. You'll have something. You can't take that out, because that's your bread and butter. So you've got to go to job. You got to go and do what you got to do. And then you got to take that out of that. Makes sense. Then after that comes the fifth F, which is your financial calling. Now, what is your calling? The career is something that you do to make money. Your calling is what you're made for. My financial calling was ACN. I was made for ACN. My calling was to live the rest of my life in total financial freedom. And the people who follow their calling live the most happy lives. So if you look at like a person who's a hermit or a priest, their calling is to do that. They love it, so they live a happy life. And the sixth F is your friends. So that you make time for your friends and who you associate with, good quality friends. So these are the 6 F's of life. So whenever I make a decision in terms of time allocation, I follow that through. Faith, fitness, family, financial career, ACN, financial calling, and then comes your friends. So now you've got your priorities. Now it's about allocating your time. So everybody has got, look at the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, and you, everybody has 24 hours. Everybody has got 24 times 7, 168 hours a week. So let's say you work 40 hours a week out of that. Take that out. Let's say you work, you sleep for 8 hours a day. All right, you only need 6 hours, remember. Let's say you sleep for 8 hours. That's 56 hours a week. Take that out. Let's say you do all the other bits that I talked about, your faith and your family and your friends. Let's say 5 hours a day. You take that out. That's 35 hours a week. You're left with 37 hours. Now, most people spend those 37 hours for entertainment. ACN leaders spend those 37 hours for entrepreneurship and empowerment. That's all you need, friends, when you first get started. 37 hours. So do everything else remaining, 37 hours fully for ACN. And what are those 37 hours? Minimum 1 Saturday a week, Saturday training. So you want to clear your Saturdays for the next 5 years. You may have minimum 2 international conventions in a year. You clear that up. This all goes into that 37 hours. Minimum, you've got to go and do 2 PBRs a week. That's yourself, minimum. This is a PBR where you're meeting a lot of people. That's what, and you do this consistently, and you will see your life turn around. So how, in the beginning, of course, it's difficult because I was not making that much money. Shruti was also working, but we got to use the time. So here's what you want to take away. Your 9 to 5 pays your bills. Your 6 to 12 builds your empire. So your 9 to 5 will pay your bills. 9 to 5 pays your bills. Your 6 to 10 and weekends will build your empire. Use your 6 to 12 and your weekends for ACN. And eventually what will happen is your 6 to 12 will start giving you more money than your 9 to 5. And that's when you can get rid of your 9 to 5. And so today I have a lot of time because I'm doing ACN full time. But everybody starts part time. And it's a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifice, very difficult. Going to work in the morning at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, coming back and then going and doing a meeting, very difficult. But you want to know short-term pain for the next 5 years in ACN and long-term gain of financial freedom. So whenever you make a decision, apply those 6 priorities, 6 F's, attach that into your schedule, put that into your calendar so that your wife or your husband and your spouse knows what happens exactly. And who is your boss in ACN? It's your calendar. So I can confidently open my calendar. And you can see, if you see my calendar, everything in blue is ACN. Everything in blue is ACN. So for me, it's very easy. I show my entire team, my family, that look at this. You want to see my ACN phase 1? Everything in blue is ACN. So you should be confident enough to go to your mentor and show them all the blues. The blues is what ACN is all about. That will build your residual income. I can go back to 6.5 years and this is what my calendar will look like. Makes sense. Everything in red and pink is family and all the other F's, but blue is ACN. So you got to learn time management, time allocation with priority. Get your spouse on board with it. Now remember, most spouses will be against you or most family members will hate you in the beginning, right? But you've got to use your clever, you need to be smart and put them into a convention, an international convention, let somebody else convince your spouse for yourself. Once they come into the international convention, even if they decide they won't do the business, one thing I guarantee you, they won't stop you from doing the business. So if you got negative spouses, negative relatives, do whatever you can do, use your influence, put them in the convention and attach your time management into it. And trust me, life will get smooth. Hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Wow. What an amazing answer. Thank you so much. There's so many golden nuggets out there. We really appreciate that. So other thing I want to talk about, somebody asked, Team Eagles, we are very excited because Team Eagles are going to have the newest regional vice president from Australia very soon. And I'm so excited. Brother Woody is on the call. So we are so excited for that. And, you being based in the UK, how you managed to build an organization, in fact, not just in Australia, but you've got a massive organization all across Europe and in the United States too. So how can somebody build a global business while you're not actually in that country? Any tips?
See, I relate ACN to building up your children, all right? So I've got a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, 3 boys and 1 more on the way. Yeah. The 4th one is a girl. We just found out that he just found out now. And that's why, we are happy. We're extremely happy. I relate that to children. You see, you can never tell your children to do something because your children won't listen to you. You can only give them an environment. All right. Mm-hmm. Second, whatever you tell your children, they're not going to listen to what you say. They're going to watch what you do. So you can't shout at your kids and say, no, you shouldn't do that. Stop shouting. Guess what they're going to do? They'll come back to you and say, I'm not shouting when they are shouting. So your children duplicate what you do. So if you want to bring up good children, the best thing you can do is give them an environment and lead by example. The same thing with ACN. You see, I didn't build a business in Australia. I didn't build it. All I did is I gave an environment for success, which is a Saturday training that happens every time, and a PBR system. I teach you how to do PBRs. And I'm leading by example. I show people what I do. That's all I did. What happens is this. In this business, we are looking for eagles. We are looking for lions. We're looking for individuals who have hunger, who have a sense of leadership within themselves. And if you keep looking, they're very rare breed, by the way. People like us are very rare. That's why how many of you have seen an eagle? You don't see eagles running around. They're very rare. So you got to go into some areas where you find them, and then you'll find the eagle will fly. So I was fortunate enough, after 5.5 years of peaking and finding and looking and going out and networking, I was fortunate enough to be connected with one of my dearest friends, Joby, who connected with myself. And then I asked him the question, and I said, are you ready to work with me? I'm not there in Australia. I'm in the UK, but I'm going to give you an environment. I'm going to give you a proven system that's been running for more than 25 years. Can you follow the system? And through Joby, we consistently created the environment. We did the PBRs, and then Woody comes in. Now, here's the other thing. You see, I didn't build the business. I was fortunate enough to attract leaders like Woody into my team, like Joby into my team. And this is why he's now going to become a regional vice president very shortly in about 18 months. So here's what it is. You create the environment. So the system of ACN is already there. And you lead by example by going out every single day. And here's what happened. The law of attraction takes place. What is the law of attraction? If you get good, you will get good people attracted towards you. If you get better, you will get better people attracted towards you. You need to improve yourself. And if you improve yourself, trust me, people will come towards you. So I was just out there on the looking around and looking, met Joby. Through that came Woody, and now a regional vice president organization, over 100,000 a month billing volume, and soon to be regional vice president. So I'm very fortunate. But what is luck? I'm very lucky, they say, but what is luck? L-U-C-K, laboring under correct knowledge. So I have the right knowledge. I keep doing what I'm doing. I create the environment. The right people come in your team. If the right people still have not come into your team, very simple, look at the mirror. It shows that you are your biggest problem. You got to develop yourself. Are you personally developing yourself every single day? Are you actually dressing to impress? Are you dressing like an SVP? Are you talking words of positivity? Are you doing the PBRs day in, day out? Are you networking on purpose day in, day out? Are you attending every Saturday training? Have you brought in your enthusiasm? Have you done what you have done? And then if you do that, the right people will come into your team. Trust me. And that's how magic happens. That's how this business runs. Lead by example, create the right environment, and the rest will just follow. That is ACN. One of my favorite movies in my life is called 3 Idiots. And if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's in every language. 3 Idiots. And in that, the main actor, that is Amir Khan, tells to his friend a language in something that says, success ke piche mat bhago. Don't run behind success. Don't follow success. Follow excellence. And success will run behind you. So same thing in everybody on this call today. You being part of this call, it shows that itself, you're following excellence. So become the most excellent recruiter in ACN. Follow to become the best customer acquirer in ACN. Become the best personal developer in ACN. Become the best event promoter in ACN. Just be the best of what you can do that's in your control, and then success will come behind you. The Woody Cherians will come behind you. The Rao Kankatalas will come behind you. The Joby Matthews will come behind you. It's called the law of attraction. And it's a law because it's a law, that means you can't refute it.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much, Liju. Liju, before we wrap up the call, I got one last question. Say, if you were to start ACN again today with all the knowledge you have right now, and say, imagine you signed up the application form, what did you do? What do you do? And how you do it? What would be your mindset like?
So when I first started, I made a decision to run an ACN. I was doing 3 PBRs a day, every single day. So that was my mentor. There was simple mathematics. 3 PBRs a day in a month, that's 90 PBRs. If your conversion is half of it, 45 people, you're actually going to become an RVP on a month-by-month basis. So 3 PBRs a day. But my 3 PBRs a day, my second month, I was doing 93. My third month, over 100. So third month, almost 100 people every month. So it's 3 PBRs a day, and that's the thing. That's why I always say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. 1 PBR a day, keeps your debt collectors away. 3 PBRs a day and your RVP is on the way. So it's 3 PBRs a day. And that got me to RVP. All right. So 3 PBRs that you do. I still remember December 25th of 2013, Christmas Day. And I had my family and everybody over. And on that day, with my family members, I did 2 PBRs. Wow. Where did I do my 3rd PBR? Because there was nobody else to talk to. It was December. I did a PBR with a flower vase. Wow. I took a flower vase, I kept it there, and I did a PBR to the flower vase. just so that I don't break the fact that I do 3 PBRs a day. It became a habit. It became something that was mentally in my brain. So creating a habit. See, successful people have successful habits. That's all. You want to be successful? Just create some successful habits. You'll automatically become successful. Makes sense. So if I were to start ACN all over again, here's what I would do. I would work 10 times faster. I would work even faster, because if I knew that I could achieve, or I can have what I have today that many years ago, 10 times faster. So instead of 3 PBRs, I will do 5 PBRs. Does that make sense? Every single day. I will go and bring as many more people to the meetings, because once you taste residual income, I'm telling you, you will not want anything else in the life. Once you taste that you can create a lifestyle for you without a boss telling you what you need to do, you can impact other people's life every single day. You live a life with so much vigor and passion. You can give your kids the best education. You can drive the nicest cars. You can travel to the best countries around the world. You can meet individuals and make an impact in their lives. You can save people's lives from the way they are. You can travel whenever you want. You can take your entire family, that's your family, your father, your mother, your grandfather, your grandmother, your in-laws, and take them all to put them in a holiday and give them the best life that they deserve. You can actually live an amazing, fruitful life. If you know that ACN gives you all of this, you would work 10 times faster, because you're the youngest you've ever been and the oldest you've ever been. And let me give you a big tip. It's better to get rich as soon as possible, because as you grow older, your energy goes down. So as soon as possible, you want to become successful. So that's what really I would give you one advice. Work 10 times faster. I'm right now working even harder than when I first started, because I just can't imagine not having a lifestyle that ACN has currently given me. I can't imagine how people do it. Wake up in the morning, force feeding themselves, wearing clothes that they don't like, in a car that they don't own, going to traffic every single day, 1 hour to a place of work that they don't like, or sometimes on a train, up and down, crowded people, smelling people's body odor, going to the same place of work every single day, meeting the same place, meet same stress people every single day, working for a company that you don't even know who the owners of the company are, and you're coming back home and you're struggling, you're tired, and at the end of it, you say you don't want to go and build your business. See, you're not tired, you're just uninspired, because your life is totally filled with crap that other people have put into it. You're spending most of the valuable time that you have meeting somebody else, seeing somebody else, than your own friends and family who you really love. That's not how life is meant to be lived. So here's what my advice would be. Work 10 times faster. If you got a time today, work 10 times faster. Don't waste your time. Move with ACN as soon as possible.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for that, Liju. And I just really want to you to talk about this incredible gentleman. In fact, we are so honored to have the legend himself, Art Napolitano. He's going to be at the international convention for us. We just had a major announcement. I know this gentleman, you know this gentleman better than anyone else on ACN World. So would you like to shed some light on what exactly Art has done and why we all have to actually take this with both hands and get as many people as we can in front of Art?
Absolutely. I still remember when I first made a decision to get started in ACN. It was at the international convention. See, I'm a very logical individual. Whatever I do in life is based on logic. All right. So here's the first rule of success. All right. If you want to be successful, study successful people. That's the rule. If you want to be successful, study successful people. So here's my logic. I get started in ACN. All right. And I made a decision. My decision is I want to go SVP. I didn't start ACN to become a CQ or an ETL or an RD or RVP. I wanted to become an SVP, and that's the reason why I started ACN. All right, logic number one. Next, who is the most highly paid or the highest paid SVP in ACN? So I Googled it, and I found out it was a man by the name of Art Napolitano. So then I identified the individual who is the highest paid earner. Then it was about me getting in touch with him. So, I couldn't, he was my upline, but it was very difficult to get a hold of Art. This is a big guy, right? So then I managed to get through my uplines and get with Artie. And I managed to, I watched every video on YouTube about him, and I started using logic. It's called dissection. We learned that in engineering. I started to dissect Art Napolitano. Why is this man the highest paid earner in ACN? Why? Because there are so many other people. What makes him the highest paid? Is it because he's a very tall man? In fact, he's not. He's 5'4". All right. Is it because he's had a business background? In fact, he's not. You know, he used to be a guitar player in a rock band. Is it because he has high intellectual capacity? He must have some kind of high educational background, because that's how the world sees very talented people. No, he's got no college degree. And then I'm trying to find out, how is this man the highest paid earner in the world? All right. It's close to 400,000 a month income. You know, I mean, I watched this video on, it's not an ACN, but Eric Worre talks about Art Napolitano, saying that the guy makes 400,000 a month. All right. So it's Eric Worre, who's another outsider, talking about his income. So then I started dissecting Art Napolitano. Is it because he's the best presenter in ACN? No. Is it because he's the best customer acquirer in ACN? No. So I then managed to get time with him for 10 minutes. Now here's a tip there, a takeaway. If you find successful people anywhere in the world, take them out for lunch. Take them out. You pay for it. You get that 10 minutes of your time or half an hour of their time, you will become a multimillionaire. I have taken out so many of my mentors. I said, would you give me the honor of just buying you lunch or dinner? Would you give me that honor? So take that time. So go and buy your mentors lunch and dinners, and then sit and ask questions. And I started asking him questions. And he told me that he has done network marketing before, but he landed in ACN. So he's got prior network marketing experience. But then I identify who are your leaders. This man lives in America, but all his SVPs are in Spain, in Europe, in UK, in Netherlands. I said, how is it that you build an organization staying in America, but build it in Europe? And then I found out what he did. I went and spoke to his SVPs. So I went and met Spain. The whole of Spain is under a man called Bash Bukhari and Miriam de la Sierra. And I connected with them. And I said, listen, what did Art Napolitano do that made you SVP? And here's what he said. Artie was a good friend to us. He kept following up with us. And he forced us to come to the Nice convention. And he put us in the international convention in Europe. He flew from America. He put us at the convention. He flew back to America. We became SVPs in Spain. I said, brilliant, not bad. Then I went to another one of his SVPs, Françoise Monfray in France. I went up to Françoise. I connected with her. Remember, successful people, buy them lunch, buy them dinner. Take some of the time. So tell me, how did you become successful? She said, I had done network marketing before. I said, I will never do it ever in my life, ever again. But then Art Napolitano called me one day and said, listen, he was a good friend over the years. He kept his relationship. He said, listen, why don't you come for an international convention? I will pay for your ticket and flights. Artie paid for Françoise Monfray's ticket and flights, took her to a convention. She sat at the convention. She went back. She became an SVP in France. She got Nassim Kebi, another SVP in France. All right, let's move to another country, United Kingdom. The pioneers of United Kingdom 20 years ago, John McDougall, Alex Alexander. I contacted John McDougall. I said, John, Alex, how do you know Art Napolitano? Oh yeah, he's a good friend of ours. He kept his relations over the years. But how did you start? Oh, he called us at 1 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock. And he said, listen, I want to pay for your flights and your ticket for you to take a holiday to America. Can you come and attend a convention? He took John McDougall and his wife and his partner, Florence. And he took another person, Alex Alexander and Philly Alexander, flew them to America, put them in the convention. In America, they came to UK. Both of them became regional vice presidents, the whole of Europe. Now I looked at every single place where Art Napolitano built, and here was his secret. He was exceptional at building relationships with people and putting them into an international convention. In fact, he never used to pay for anybody's ACN licenses, but he used to invest money and put them into the convention. That one thing is what made Art Napolitano the highest paid earner in ACN. So if you're listening to this today, here's my knowledge, here's my wisdom to you. If you want to be successful, study successful people. If you want to know what success is all about, copy successful people. I have read thousands of books around the world on success. All the message really comes down to one thing. If you want to be an SVP, copy what SVPs do. If you want to get rich, copy rich people. Simple. So if you want to be successful in ACN, we got the next convention coming in less than 6 weeks. And here's what I want to do. I don't need to convince you to come to the convention. Because if you can't convince a racehorse to, or you can't convince a donkey to become a racehorse. If by what I've just said right now, and you're not going to come to the convention, I would rather you just quit the business. Because the conventions are where the SVPs and RVPs come out of their shell. So here's what you need to do in 6 weeks. Not just attend the convention. Make it a point that you take with you personally at least 10 new people. Personally. And get those 10 people to bring their 10 people. You can take 100 people into the convention. If you put people at this international event that's happening in the next 6 weeks, here's what is going to happen to you. Consistently do it. Maybe you have to invest some money. So be it. You understand? I met a gentleman, Mr. Kang in America, and he used to attend every single convention, and he didn't make any money for 10 years in ACN. 10 years. And he said, 10 years, one of the things that he put in his head was this: he's going to put down for all the conventions $4,000 a year for the convention. That was his deal. And he did that for 10 years. And I said, you didn't make any money for many of those years, but why would he do this? He said, this is what my mentors told me. 10 years, put 4,000 a year. After 10 years, you will make 40,000 a month. Would it be worth it? And that's my question to you. Are you willing for the next 5 to 10 years, put $4,000 every single year, to take people with you? You go to the convention consistently. Here's what will happen in the next 5 to 10 years. You will make 40,000 a month. There has never been an SVP or RVP who has ever got to the top in this company without attending the conventions. I am a product of the convention. Rao Kankatala is a product of the international event, the convention. Woody Cherian, I flew him down from Australia to America.
Wow.
He paid more than $3,500 to attend one convention. He comes out of it. He's going to be a regional vice president in the next 2 weeks. I got a guy the other day called Srivats. He quit the business. Woody Cherian forced him to come to the Sydney event that you have right now. He went to the Sydney event. He saw the convention. He came to the Gold Coast event, saw the convention, came back. The guy did 400 personal customer points, just became a regional director 2 days ago. So in this business, we don't force, we don't coerce, we don't convince, we don't manipulate, we don't brainwash for anything except for someone attending the international event. So if you are serious about your business, you would do what I do, is non-negotiable. I call people and I say, if you're not booked for the next international event, I'm not even going to work with you because you won't last in this business. I'll find somebody else who's coachable and I'll put them into the international event. So 6 weeks, friends, you got 6 weeks to go out there, get on your phone. And here's what I do. I call this a power hour. I lock myself. I don't lock myself. I come into my office. I have a nice cup of coffee and I get on the phone and I just blitz the phone daily. And this is what I'm doing. Calling up. Hey, have you booked Sydney? Have you booked Sydney? They'll give you 4 excuses. Only 4 excuses. I don't have money. I don't have time. I have my job. I have to look after my family. This is the only 4 things they're going to say. And the answer to all 4 is the reason why you need to be at the international event is to fix that problem. You don't have money. The reason why you need to be at the international event is the people making money are going to teach you how to make money. You don't have time. The reason why you need to be at the international event is the people who have time is teaching you how to make time. You have family problems. Great. The people who are talking at the international convention have fixed those problems. That's why you should be at the convention problem. You have a job. Hey, listen, you said the reason why you came into ACN is you don't want a job. So don't let the why you started ACN be the reason why you should not do ACN. So the people who don't have jobs are going to be at the convention and they're going to teach you. So the solution to every problem you have is at the convention. So make sure you're there. the highest paid earner in ACN, multi-millionaire Art Napolitano, my personal mentor, is going to be at that convention. And he's going to deliver some messages, and he's got some amazing power of vision casting. The highest paid earners of Australia for the last 6 months are going to be talking at the international convention. No one's going to inspire you more than Mike Cupids at that international convention. So you want to be there. You want to witness the promotions of Woody Cherry and another regional vice president woke up on that stage. It's 2020, guys. It's 2020, ladies. It's time for you to step up, level up, and take your life to the next level. So don't even be negotiable about anyone being in the convention. Listen, I would rather work with 10 good quality people than 100 chickens. Does that make sense? 10 people who are with me, that's all I need. I can build an empire. Find those people who are coachable and get them to Sydney.
Wow.
Back to you, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Liju. We truly appreciate it. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the golden nuggets. I have given you very short notice and you said yes, and you have poured into us. We really appreciate all the things you have done, and we'll take it on board, and we put an army of people in front of Mr. Art Napolitano. But more importantly, we can't wait to see you in Asia Pacific. We miss you this time. I know that you won't be here. Best of luck with the family as well. And, we can't wait to see you in Asia Pacific. I'm sure that you will be here in September. So we can't wait to see you. So thank you so much, Liju. Much love to Shruti and the kids as well. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us. So thank you again. Have a great evening. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, buddy. Take care.
Okay, let's do this.
Thank you, Liju. Thank you so much.
Liju.
Can we all say thank you, Liju?
Thank you so much.
Liju, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Una vez tiene que abrir.